But without further ado, let's just go take a look at this thing. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. A lot has happened this past week since I uploaded my last video. Starting with, obviously, I was only up here for the weekend last weekend and I had to fly back down to Florida to finish up my final exam. So all this week I've been studying and taking exams and everything, so that's why I haven't gotten a video out. So I finished up my exams on Thursday and then hit the road Friday to drive all the way back up here. And then we just made it back last night. Today is Sunday morning and we just got to one of like the sickest tracks in Toledo, Ohio. It's called MX Express. The dirt is awesome and it gets super rough, so really excited to head out there. Haven't been out here since like August or something like that. But a couple big things have happened since the last video that you guys watched. We've kind of been having some issues with the Hondas, some cooling problems, and just like the Honda 250 is still, they don't know what's wrong with it, and Hangtown is in 2 weeks pretty much. I have to leave to head out to California in I think 9 days, so not ideal timing at all, and we kind of made the executive decision that we were just going to do 450s out on the West Coast. So the first 3 rounds I'll be doing the 450 class. The issue with that is that the 2019 Works Edition 450 still isn't back from the shop yet either, getting the radiator mods done to help with the cooling problem. So I was kind of in a tough spot, didn't really know what I was going to do until last weekend I rode somebody's bike and it was not a Honda, and I freaking loved it. So for quite a few years we've been battling Honda handling issues, the front end twitchiness. Like you guys know, if you've watched all my videos, you know I'm always complaining about the front end on the Honda. The power, obviously it has a ton of power, but it comes on like a ton of bricks, and like it's almost like a turbo, how you get on the gas and it kind of sits there and like winds up and then absolutely punches you, like tries to rip your arms off. So I took out my buddy's bike last weekend and the Hondas are gone. We promptly put up the 2018 450 for sale, as well as the Works Edition, sold both of those, and replaced it with this new bike. And looking at it right now, and some of you aren't gonna be too happy about it, but some of you are gonna be really stoked. But without further ado, let's just go take a look at this thing. Yes guys, that is right. We have a 2019 Rockstar Edition FC 450 Husqvarna. There we go, I went Austrian. Now let me first start off by saying I've been pretty vocal about me not really liking the Austrian bikes that much. I actually raced a 2014 KTM 450 my first year as a pro in 2014, and I just didn't like the thing. I didn't gel with it. It felt pretty heavy. It handled poorly. It wasn't very fast. I just did not like that thing at all. Got back on a Honda and said I would never go back. And actually I didn't touch another Austrian bike until just recently when I rode my buddy Eric Grondel's Rockstar Edition 450, and man, the bikes have changed a lot since 2014. Obviously they dropped like 20 pounds. The horsepower is way better now. The power delivery is insane. When I rode Eric's, I literally got comfortable on that thing in like a half a lap, and it felt like I was riding a bike that I had been riding for months. And in the 3 laps that I put in on it, I set a lap time that was only a half a second slower than on my Honda, which I had been riding for months. So that was like the first big thing that kind of caught my attention. And then my dad has been a long time KTM fan. He always like looks at all the top pros like Hurlings and Muscan and Webb and everyone, and he's like, oh, you know, they're winning and they're on KTMs. KTM's got to be the best bike on the market. And I would fight him about it, like, no, Dad, we already tried KTM. We're not going down that road again. But just last weekend, I was getting pretty fed up with the Honda issues that we were having, and it just so happened that one of our friends had a 2019 KTM 450, and I took it out for a lap. Dude. So yeah, my dad talked me into riding it, and I told him, I was pretty much riding it just to humor him. I didn't like change the bar setup or anything. I think I moved the levers up a little bit because he had them really far down, and that was the only thing I changed on it. Suspension was completely stock, engine completely stock, and I had no expectations at all because I was pretty sure that I hated them. But wow, I was wrong, man. One corner in and I felt right at home on that thing, like I'd been riding it for months. went off the first jump, threw a fat scrub, railed the next corner, and I was literally smiling. The thing just had like an impossible amount of grip. I could get on the gas as hard as I want to, and it was just gonna go straight out of a corner no matter how rough it was. Coming into corners, you can tell how light the thing is. Like, it feels like a 250F with 57 horsepower basically. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe it, honestly, because here I am thinking I hated KTMs, and it turned out to be the best bike I have ever ridden in my life, completely stock. And I was like, no, the track must have gotten better or something. Like, there's no way that it was that big of a difference. And I got back on my Honda, and it felt like a fat, heavy turd with way too much explosive power. And I had arm pump in like 2 laps, and yeah, it sucked basically. I was not wanting to ride the rest of the day because I knew I had to ride a Honda. So that night, we put the Hondas up for sale. We were fortunate enough that they sold really quick, and we went over to Championship Power Sports to go pick up a KTM. Obviously, we didn't wind up with a KTM, and that was because since we're so short on time, we didn't really have enough time to build a race bike because Hangtown is in 2 weeks. So we kind of had it in our minds that we were going to get one of the factory edition 450s because it already came with a bunch of upgrades that we were going to do anyways. Championship didn't have any. They actually just sold their last one. But they did have this Rockstar 450, which obviously you guys know is pretty much the exact same bike as the KTM. And I really liked my friend Eric's when I rode it, so it kind of just made sense. We snagged this thing, and this is going to be my very first time riding it. So if you guys love the Hondas, I'm really sorry. I really wanted to love them. Like, I held on to them as long as I could, but you just can't argue with how much better these things are. So I'm super excited to go ride this thing. Obviously, we got Bridget here as well as Alex. She's going to be getting some third person of our first time riding this thing. Hopefully you guys are really stoked on it. Sorry if you're not an Austrian fan, but I'm extremely stoked. So at the end of the day, whatever's going to get me around the track the quickest, I'm all on board for. So without further ado, I'm going to get geared up and head out there because I want to freaking shred this thing. is what a race bike should feel like. Every time I go out, I'm getting more and more comfortable on this thing, which is crazy because even after the first lap, I felt right at home on it. Super comfortable. I'm speechless, man. I'm so stoked on this thing, and I feel like it's a good size for me. The bike is really nice and long. I have a lot of like leg room and everything. Just feel like I fit it really good, and watching back these clips, I feel like I look pretty good on it too. So, man, I'm really happy about this change. Luckily, Marty Wheeler, the owner of MX Express, is really cool, and we're pretty good friends with him, and I only live like 15 minutes from here, so he's gonna let us come back out tomorrow for an unprepped ride. So tomorrow I'll really work on dialing the bike in. I didn't really mess around with it too much. I slowed down the rear rebound just a little bit because it just felt like it was just a little bit kicky coming into the corners, but like I haven't even set the sag or anything for me, just still letting it break in. So tomorrow will be a good day for testing. It'll just be me and my dad out here in Bridget, so we'll be able to just go on and off the track as we please, make a lot of adjustments, and take you guys along for the ride. So, man, I hope you guys are stoked, and I hope you can tell how like happy I am about this, because I like loved my Honda 250 to death. They just handle really good, and the power's good and everything, but the 450 I just could never get to handle how I wanted it to, and just really was struggling. And I feel like this is, you know, my gateway to getting more consistent results that I want, being able to last through the whole moto because the power's way better, it's lighter, it's just, I'm stoked on it. So hope you guys are excited. We'll have some more video up tomorrow from the ride day out here at MX Express. If you guys are in the area, this is like one of the coolest places. As you can see from the video, they always keep it tilled really deep, like borderline pro national status. The ruts are so deep. Dirt's really good, they till it really deep. It's a really good rough and ruddy practice, and Marty and the guys who run it are just the best people. So come on out and show them some love on Instagram or whatever. Thank you, Marty, and everyone for always treating us so well and letting us come out. Really appreciate it. So anyways, guys, this will probably just be a bit of a shorter video, just a little bit of GoPro and a little bit of third person. Not much talking in between because I just really wanted to focus on getting used to the bike and just getting it set up a little bit. But tomorrow we'll have the full day out here just all to ourselves, so I'll do a lot of like in between moto filming and let you guys know what I'm doing to the clickers and everything like that. So keep an eye out for that video, and thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're excited for what's to come soon, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. Later, guys.